Welcome to the Audacity, the podcast by women, for women, and of course, anyone brave enough to listen. Welcome one and welcome all. My name is Lisa, and I'm joined by my amazing co-host, the Sovereign Woman, and Gwen.
Howdy, y'all.
It's so good to be here with you guys. I just love it here. We want to give a huge welcome to our new Patreon members. We have a brand new TVIP member, Mary. Welcome.
Welcome, Mary.
Hi, Mary.
Thank you for the support. We have a brand new tea spiller as well. Her name is Andrea. Welcome, Andrea.
Welcome, Andrea.
And for those of you that don't know, we started a new segment that I'm really excited about on the Patreon called Crumpets, which is basically the after show. You guys get a little sneak peek into the green room where, I don't know, last week we were talking about Sex and the City randomly, and Sovereign had an unpopular opinion, which I ended up loving by the end, but she really caught me off guard with that one. So yeah, we'll see if we come up with anything for y'all today, but keep an eye out for that if you are a TVIP member. And this week we are talking about Mother's Day, aka the yearly humiliation ritual of hundreds of thousands of women. But before we get to that, y'all know we have to have our tea. So what is everybody's tea today?
Did y'all know we came this close to nuclear war?
What?
This close. Not in the United States, but over in India and Pakistan.
Yeah.
It got pretty heated over there. Yeah. And it's not funny, but it's funny that they a while back in the early 2000s, they had a video game. Or it was not a video game. It's a board game. And it was called, I forget. I'll have to link it down below once I find it for y'all. But it was a board game, and you had to play as either India or Pakistan. And it kind of predicted this whole scenario that they almost had over there.
Wow.
So yeah, apparently India thought Pakistan was alone in their support and that they had no support. And so they decided oh, well, why not? Let's just mess with them a bit. And so they messed with them. Pakistan, of course, got heated about it. And then that's when India learned that Pakistan was not alone, that these 4 other governments were backing Pakistan. So they have China, Iran, Turkey, and Russia that all decided you're not alone, we'll be there with you. And because they got involved, India's whoa, uh-oh. So then they tried to reach out to us for help, the United States, and Trump was why are we getting involved in this? You're on your own. So India's okay, now we don't, yeah.
I know.
Surprisingly, right? All of a sudden,
there's just no resources to steal from those countries,
Literally.
I guess. But yeah, and so India was well, what the heck? Because y'all have some of our best doctors over there. Y'all have our people who work for you. And so we thought, that would be enough for America to want to support us back. But America was no.
Oh, they believed in benevolent world control.
Mm-hmm. And
the benevolent patriarch.
Yeah, LOL.
Yeah.
America was just peace. And then, so India thought that they had Turkey's support. And then Turkey was actually actually, no, y'all are wrong for this one. So we're going to stick with Pakistan. And so, yeah, the war is actually very unpopular with everybody on that side of the world. Pakistan doesn't want this. India does, Indian citizens, Pakistan citizens do not want this because it's very, they both have nukes. They have nuclear warheads on both sides. So, and all these other countries that support them also have nukes. So it's very bad. It's a very scary situation for everybody involved. And so I know for the people over there, they are very much against this. But fascism, as we know, is kind of just on the rise everywhere because, America is the big brother country of the world. Everybody looks up to us, apparently. Well, not anymore, as of recent. But for a while after World War II, they looked up to us. And now they see us as just kind of falling apart. So now the rest of the world is just well, why not? Because if America's not going to get involved, then America's going to be one big bully. Then, oh, well.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else, it creates a power vacuum.
That's exactly what's happening right now. It's just one big power vacuum.
It's funny to me, this is kind of unrelated, but it's funny to me that people are still not convinced, especially people in Christian circles, that this is not resembling the revelation in the worst possible way. And as far as who they're supporting, literally the man tried to be the Pope of another country. That's Antichrist behavior. All of this is very much in the revelation scenario,
Wow.
but Christians all of a sudden don't know how to read the Bible. Just very funny to me.
I pretend I do not see.
There's wars everywhere. Countries are crumbling.
know.
Popes are dying, whatever. And everyone's no, this is good. Trump is a man of God. He's literally destroying everything he touches. And
all a part of God's divine plan.
J.D. Vance is destroying everything he touches, but
exactly. And speaking of wars and stuff, I am happy, I guess, to report that there's been a pause on the tariffs in China, which I've kind of been calling this. Like I said, they cannot they cannot
It's
sustain
very
this in
unsustainable.
America. Yeah.
Very.
And when they saw how ready China is to tussle, and I heard somebody actually like put this into words, they said that China, subsidizes labor. And that's exactly what I said. I said, you have to subsidize the oppression of the people. And they're not going to do that here in America. And so China's like, yeah, we'll take the loss. We're still going to pay our people. We're going to back that with government money. We're going to give discounts on items so that we don't have a bunch of dead stock and everything like that. And America was going to have no plan. They were just going to try to bully other countries. And
thinking that they were going to just give in.
Yeah. And I want to know whose dick he had to suck. Like, honestly, like, because I know they were not trying to budge. Like there has to have been like other deals made behind the scenes, because they could have just held out and they could have destroyed America. So I don't know. This is just speculation. Okay, don't at me. But this is definitely, there was something else at stake. I don't know what. But Gwen, I would love to hear your take, or Sovereign, or whoever wants to jump in on that.
Well, as far as I know about the halt on that, is just that he just caught all of the industry leaders in the United States by surprise, because they were not expecting it to be like, they kind of knew that the tariffs were coming, because even Biden had kept the same tariffs that Trump instilled in his first term and just kind of maintained those. And so they know when Trump came back that it would just raise higher, but they didn't know how high. And then that 145 was very unprecedented. And it wasn't even talked about with anyone. So this should have come with a lot more transparency. So there should have been a lot of more like televised interviews with I don't know, the Secretary of Trade. And there should have been talks with like Jerome Powell, who's the chair of the Federal Reserve. And there should have just been a lot more like talks about it. Maybe like talks about how high they want to raise these tariffs and for what reason. Should have come with a lot more justification too. Like, why is it 145? And so, yeah. But the fact that they didn't do this, and he's just like, fuck it, let's just see what happens. And then he like fucked around. And now I guess he's finding out, because he's pissed off quite a bit of his own base, his own voters, because even though they voted for him, they're all losing out on their business. All these small business leaders that are here and they get their stuff from China, they're losing out. And so like, these are all the same people that voted for him, and now they're all mad. So I don't think it's a coincidence that he's backing out of this, because enough people mad can do some real damage.
For sure. Yeah, so that lady that fainted on, was it Fox News?
Yeah, I think it was Fox.
Cameron Kinsey was her name. Which I had no idea who she was before.
Is she okay?
I don't think anyone cares, if I'm being honest. I don't know if anyone, her own co-host didn't even.
Oh yeah, he just stood there. He like was all about that business, and he did not. He just looked over there like, oh. Anyways,
somebody
more
clean
at
her
9.
up, please.
I wasn't.
Damn, that's
like,
so
you
cold.
Know, I know, and I was like, am I becoming a bad person, because I felt nothing.
Play stupid games.
When she fell out, I was just like, oh damn. Oh my God. It's
like peak white feminism. You know what I mean? Like when feminism stops working, you appeal to the patriarchy and you start like saying whatever the men say. And then you're always going to find out how much they care about you in the end. You're always going to find out.
I'm so glad you pointed that out.
That you were just fodder for their fire.
Like, allowed yourself to be firewood.
Yep.
And literally that's a visual representation of that. For real.
Oh my God. Yeah, so she was basically on there just talking shit about Kamala and saying she failed and they're just mad because they failed. And then she just passed out.
All I saw was the clip. I didn't know what she was talking about beforehand.
Oh no, she was talking about how
really?
their administration was a failure. The campaign was like
wow.
And so the comment sections of any video, if you watch anybody the comment sections did not disappoint. They were like, those were Kamala's ancestors, or that was God himself. What you said,
you cannot,
not God himself. So
you just can't convince me that's not divine intervention. Like, when people say like, may God strike me down, like
it was too perfect.
Just too perfect.
The timing was
for real.
Chef's kiss.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
great minds
I totally agree.
Yeah. So that was my tea. But even though I'm drinking coffee. But
apparently she's not the first one. Like I saw another clip of another woman who had also passed out. But I don't know if she was with Fox or someone
That's
else.
interesting. Ladies,
If it
take
was
your
facts-
iron supplements.
I know. I wonder. Maybe it's like or maybe it's just the stress of all these lies, like just weighing them down.
That's another
and
thing they were saying. There was
causing
like the
enough
lies.
stress. Yep, the lies will
God,
catch
it
up
was
to
saying,
you.
I can't remember exactly how it went, but everybody was talking about the fact she was lying, and that's why she could. I can't remember how they put it, but it was so funny. And I'm reading through the comments, and comment after comment after comment. It was just better than the last, and I was just
good.
like,
so good.
Yeah, I felt nothing. I was just like, oh,
yeah.
We're going to see a lot of this. Unfortunately,
so?
I've been talking about this on my TikTok a lot, and I'm like, because every time I see videos nowadays, I'm like, this is the alt-right pipeline. Like this, here's another one, here's another one, here's another one. Because like women have started policing, like this is going to be old news by the time this episode comes out, but there's been a lot of discourse about gym clothing and people saying like, oh, women need to, and by people, I mean both men and women, which has been very concerning, that women need to cover up for the gym, etc. And at the same time, so we're policing women's bodies, right? And at the same time, there's a rise, and I'm telling y'all, it's really bad in like skinny talk. And if anyone was on like Tumblr back in the pro Anna days, like all the pro like eating disorder days, skinny talk is basically the TikTok version of that. And it's like basically trying to bully, like women trying to bully each other into like, you need to be skinny, you need to eat less, like everything you eat shows up on your body, etc. And we have women policing their own bodies and each other's bodies. And this is all, you're just going to see a lot more of women like quote unquote switching sides, like with influencers and stuff. You're going to see a lot of white female influencers take up the trad wife mantle, because a lot of these people are just doing what's popular. A lot of these people are just doing whatever like, you know what I mean? Like a lot of these men too, like Mark Zuckerberg and like all the CEOs and stuff, they were woke when it benefited them. They were woke when there was like a Democratic Party in office. Same with these influencers, right? They're going to switch over to trad wifery real quick because this is white feminism. That's the epitome of it. You can always appeal to the white instead of the feminism, and you can appeal to the patriarchy to sort of get power back. Because anytime we start like eradicating these systems, yes, things do start to crumble a little bit, right? Society experiences a little, like a little quake, and then people start freaking out. And then when women, especially white women, feel disenfranchised by the patriarchy, or they feel like they no longer have like easy access to the kind of things that they're used to having access to, they will get in that booth and they will vote for Trump too. And like it's subconscious. I don't think it's very much like, but it's like this idea of like, we need to go back. We need to conserve our values. We've gone too far. And it's like, this is just what happens. I don't know.
I don't think I will ever understand, and maybe because I guess maybe it's because I'm not a narcissist or whatever, but I don't understand the need to control other people. I don't know. I've never really had that inkling or desire. It's like, let people be. I just don't understand. As long as the people are not physically harming someone, invading anybody's space or stealing from them or whatever, let people live their life. Now, don't get me wrong, we're all going to have opinions on stuff that people do. Like somebody was talking about some woman with 7 kids and she was online complaining about the 7 kids, whatever. I was watching something about something on Burb's channel earlier today. So we're all going to have opinions about these things, but I would never go out of my way to vote that you shouldn't be allowed to do this or you shouldn't be allowed to do that. I'm just like, I'll just have my opinion, but I'm not going to try to legislate your body or your rights. I don't understand why that's so hard for people to just let people be. But
I think it's part of like white supremacy too.
Yeah.
Is that policing,
but everybody does it. But everybody does it. Like black people.
Yeah, that's because we all live under it. Like trickles down.
Yeah, that's true. It's annoying.
It's very annoying. That's what I mean. Like women do it too. That's why like women are not automatically your friend. And like I know that Black people have a saying about this too, right? It's like not everybody that looks like you is necessarily for your cause, for the general cause. Even if it like would directly benefit them, like sometimes people would rather pretend like they don't need like, they're not marginalized or something. Like they would rather pretend like they can do it themselves. And it's like, I don't know. It's like a pride thing. It's like I was
getting really annoyed with reading comments from women about the whole gym clothes thing. And I'm just like, why do you care? They're just like, y'all need to cover yourselves up, and it's just like, why?
You know why?
Why do
because of men. Because of men. You
They're
go
not
far enough
decentering men.
upstream. Yes, you go far enough upstream. It comes back to men because it is what it is. It's like, oh well, what if my boyfriend goes to the gym and sees one of you?
And there it is.
We're
and I try
recentering
not
the
to say
male
that.
gaze. We're recentering the male gaze. I'm telling you, this is all part of this like right wing, the slide into, the right wing alt-right pipeline is all part of it. We're recentering the male gaze to where, yeah, what if your man sees one of these women? Okay.
He's gonna most likely flirt and like say,
yeah, okay.
Like,
yeah, that's not your man. That's not your man.
That's the thing.
Tell
they
him.
don't want to accept that. That's just not the acceptable answer.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that my man is
They'd
for the
rather
streets
blame
and he's
another
for
woman.
everybody. They have to blame a woman.
Because they can't blame themselves.
Because there's no way that, no, I'm not ever accepting. That's what it is. And it's like, I just never been like that. If you got the body, to wear,
I love to see
wear
it.
you a cute little
right
yoga outfit with the little, the half top or whatever.
Nothing
whatever
makes me
they be wearing.
happier than seeing a fellow sister like just enjoying themselves and just like being confident and comfortable in her body. Like that just seeing other people do well makes me feel like I'm doing well.
That's exactly it. The Lemonade app is like, my algorithm on there is like food and fitness. Like that's it. And there are so many women on there that just go work out at the gym and they show you what they do or whatever, which I've been thinking about doing fashion and fitness videos too, because I've been wanting to do that from the very beginning. I just never have. But I love that. I don't understand how a woman, even they were lying saying women were wearing lingerie to the gym. I'm like, nobody's fucking wearing lingerie.
Doing that.
But even if I saw a woman with lingerie at the gym, I'd be like, good for you. Especially if she got the body to pull it off. What's the problem? And the men who were mad, did you see those videos of those men who were like, why the fuck are y'all wearing this? You guys need to I'm like, no straight man is mad. No straight man is mad at a woman showing, bouncing her boobs while she's running on the treadmill, like I said before, or her ass cheeks clapping as she's running on a straight man is loving that. He's going to be sitting back there like, whoa. He's going to be picturing her doing whatever. But the fact that men were upset, I'm like, so you're either giving really rapey vibes, like you don't have any control over yourself, or you're mad that she's pulling the attention of the men that you were trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm like, you
some
have
men
to be
were
down
like,
low.
well,
There's
what if
no way you would be that angry. There
was men out there that are like, well, what if I wore aligned shorts to the gym and like wore a bra to the gym? It's like, baby, only
the gay men will be paying you attention. Women don't give a fuck. We might look at you and laugh, but as a matter of fact, we don't even want to be bothered at the gym. Like we're focusing on what we're doing. We don't care.
Exactly.
You can wear a fucking one-piece bathing suit. A man can wear a one-piece a woman's bathing suit, and nobody would care.
Nobody should see what they wear to my hot yoga classes. I'm not even. I've been saying this, but men show up in whatever, like see-through boxers. Like they just wear their underwear, and I'm like, okay, like. That's lingerie. Like, why are you guys projecting so hard?
And men usually don't wear shirts at the gym. A lot of them don't. So what is that?
That's what I'm saying. It's absolutely crazy.
Whore.
Tramp. Whore.
Jezebel.
Oh
well, we have a listener tea time. So I'm very excited about this. Couldn't wait to get to it. So let's listen in and then give some commentary.
Hey besties, I recently found out completely against my will that Logan Paul is expecting a kid and he found out it's a girl and he was super bummed about it. Shocking. He posted this cringy video with like sappy music and quite literally said it's life karma for the way he's treated women. Like this baby has not even emerged from the womb yet and she's already responsible for teaching a 30-year-old man a lesson. But this just leads me into the phenomenon of like men who all of a sudden develop empathy for women only when they have a daughter. Like they finally understand the repercussions of misogyny because it directly impacts someone they love. And it's weird because it's like, they didn't think about this in regards to their sister, their mom, their wife even. Like they basically had to clone themselves into female form for them to understand it, which is so incredibly narcissistic. But they're just telling on themselves in the worst possible way. Like, it's not all men until they have a daughter. And then, oh, wow, it is all men. I need to protect her from all the men. But I just hate this expressing of the sentiment of like, wow, I finally understand that women are people too. And they want a gold star. Like, my empathy has been cooking since I was 4 years old and cried when Mufasa died. And then I just
Period.
like die a little bit inside because I realized I have more empathy for a cartoon lion than most men have for half of the world population. Anyway, I just needed to share that because it made me want to light myself on fire.
That was great.
We love you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So does anybody
Canon
need
event.
a primer on the Paul brothers, Jake and Logan?
Yeah, I don't know who they are.
So
Okay, yeah.
they're just basically anything you could think of for a problematic streamer. That's them. They started out as like a
they started out on Vine. You remember? Vine?
yeah, they
The,
did.
like,
They started out on
5-second
Vine.
clips.
Yeah.
And they were just doing the most obnoxious shit. Like they would come up to like grocery store checkouts and like hop up on the conveyor belt and like start dancing, like putting their crotch in people's face. Like they were just absolutely obnoxious. And then Vine went down and they transitioned over sort of like to YouTube and started doing like regular, not even streamer stuff, but just like Logan.
Extremist content.
Extremist content, exactly. Logan, I was just about to say, Logan was the one that filmed like a dead body.
He went to Japan. Yeah, he went to Japan and to the suicide forest. And they even told him, they said, it's illegal to film in there for obvious reasons. Because if you go there, you're going to find what you're looking for. And like that's just an unfortunate reality that we have in Japan. So just be respectful of the dead and just don't record. You can go there, just don't record. And what the fuck does he do? He records. So he's actually banned from Japan.
Did we talk about this before?
We didn't, but I'm sure it was like a huge topic of conversation.
I feel like I heard about this before.
Yeah.
I don't remember if it was Jake or Logan. It was one.
It was Logan.
It wasn't the guy that like did something to the statues or something. And
no,
that's Johnny Somali.
A different guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
it's always,
but
still a man though. It's always men doing fuck shit in other countries and just messing with people's foreign policy. Like, just because they're American and they think that they have the backing of our government to do whatever they want in these countries.
So then they eventually transitioned into like, oh, we want to become boxers, like UFC fighters or whatever. I don't know what their deal is. So now they're both like boxing. They're filthy rich, like super duper rich from all of this like reality TV type of like whoring themselves out on the internet. But now they have an actual reality TV show. So you get to see their actual like dynamics and like the two guys are now in relationships and they're like engaged. And one of them is having a baby, or I think they already had the baby. But yeah, when they found out at the reveal, there was this whole big drama, like where he acted happy for the first 24 hours and then was like, actually, this is really heavy. Actually, I'm not excited at all. Like, da, 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 da. And one of my mutuals made a video about this, and his ex-girlfriend actually commented on there that he had actually told her before that he was excited to have a kid because he didn't think he loved himself so much that he wanted to like see if he would love like he could only love something that was like half him or something like extremely narcissistic shit. I may be able to pull up the comment in quickly enough, but yes, so that's kind of like the background. And I've been meaning to like make a commentary about some of the clips from that show that I've been circling around because it's very much like watching narcissistic abuse in real time. And this man was definitely just all sorts of gaslighting and ignoring his fiance and like telling her stuff as like women's work and like doing the nursery and stuff like that. That's like women's work. And he was upset about spending money on the baby, but then he bought like a $2.7 million hockey stick or some fuck shit. Like,
stop.
Yeah, they're just, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
It sounds like he's upset because he's going to have to face himself in the mirror and he doesn't want to grow and evolve.
Exactly.
Because if you have daughters, then you're either going to be a complete shit father or you're going to have to change and be better because of your daughter. And it sounds like he's not ready to be a better
100%.
person. Which I think that's the case for a lot of men.
It is.
They're like, damn, now I got to elite. Even if they don't want to actually respect women, they're going to have to pretend like they're respecting women. And they don't want to do that either. Do you get what I mean?
They also have to contend with the fact that they're friends with men who are just like them.
Exactly.
And they're predatory.
Absolutely.
And they have to hold their friends accountable, their uncles accountable, their brothers. And that also oftentimes doesn't sit well with men who are now fathers of daughters.
Yep.
And so... Yep.
I was going to say, they definitely try to make up for this by being like extremely overprotective, like cleaning their gun when boys come over and stuff like that. And it's like, you're projecting. You're projecting. I hope you know it's very, very, very obvious that this is what you're doing. And It's absolutely crazy how much these men, and like imagine being somebody's fiance, standing in front of them, pregnant, watching them realize that they now have to respect women and realizing that that never applied to you at any point.
Right. Oh my
Like
God.
they just now realized it. You were there the whole time. Their mom was there the whole time. Other women were there the whole time.
If they have any. Yeah.
Sisters, whatever, friends, other women were there the whole time. But it took them like reproducing to be like, oh yeah, are women people? Wait, are women people?
Not a spicy take. Maybe that means that these men don't really love their sisters and mothers as much as they pretend to.
They don't, not at all. Because why would it take?
I mean, like really, they really don't at all. Like not even, you know what I mean? Like, because if it's taking your so-called seed to make you realize women, you don't care about
just
anybody.
love yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. You love yourself. And as much as that transfers, because then like he can always like take that back by being like, oh, well, my daughter didn't do what I told her to do. Like, I don't know. They'll still find a way to fault the woman in the situation if something doesn't turn out like how they want. And yeah, it's extremely disheartening.
I remember reading a comment somewhere where a woman said she got pregnant when she was a teenager or something. And she went to her dad for guidance and he told her, you picked him. And I think she had to be like 15 or something at the time.
Oh, what,
and
15?
she was like, that was it. That's all he said to her. You picked him. Like, deal with it. I'm not helping you, in other words.
The protector.
The so-called protector. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think he's going to even be that nice to his daughter, especially once because a lot of narcissists do this. Like once the kids grow up and start having feelings and opinions of their own, they will discard you.
Yeah, that's
They'll be like,
true.
oh, I didn't raise you like that. Like,
unfortunately, I see a lot of mothers do that too, though.
Yeah, of
That's
course.
the sad part.
Of course. Yeah.
What he might do, since he's a content creator, is he might use her for content for a while.
Oh, yeah.
The same way DDG, whatever his name is, uses Halo. Yep. You know what I mean? Like they might do that and capitalize on, oh, I'm a girl dad.
Yeah, he's gonna put her in like a boxing class and do like content with her, like in the gym, kicking the pads and stuff, and be like, I'm not gonna train my daughter to be a victim. Like I've seen some of these men who were now fathers of little girls that were in the UFC do. It's like I don't know, it's like just an accessory for them. Like they don't do this because I don't think they actually care about their daughters. I think they just do it because it's like it makes for cute content and it temporarily boosts their relevancy and popularity. Because like once they're done fighting, like that's it. You don't really hear from them hardly ever.
I agree. I remember. I don't know if men still do this now, but I know in the 90s it was very popular for men to either take their actual kids or their niece or nephew out in public to go to the mall or whatever just to pick up girls. So girls can look at them and say, oh, he looks like a great father or he's a great man, you know.
It was a trope in so many rom-coms and stuff, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they real life did
like a
this.
puppy and a purse. That's so sad.
So to me, it's the same concept. Like with their own children, it's just they're just using them as props or ways to make money on a YouTube channel or whatever. It's sickening.
100%. This is just narcissism playing out.
I pray for his daughter, really, because I can't think of a worse fate than being the daughter of Logan Paul, or Jake Paul, whichever. A Paul, bro. Like that's got to be the worst. What about being the daughter of Trump?
Oh my gosh. Ones that he is attracted to or ones that he's not attracted to.
Oh, stop.
Because like Trump has Trump has several types of daughters, you know what I mean? Yes. He's got the ones that he would date, as he has said about Ivanka. And then there's like Tiffany, whom we've never seen.
Yeah, literally. Like I don't even know what became of her.
Yeah. So, I mean, men just never really healthily relate to women regardless. Like, even if they want to because it's their daughter, eventually the patriarchy will come along and poison that relationship too.
Has anybody seen Tiffany?
No. Nobody cares about her. Like, nope. Because her own dad doesn't care about her.
Right. And I'm going to guess maybe she's not as attractive as Ivanka.
Or maybe she's
her name?
a Democrat and maybe they've just like
she's not a Democrat. She's just not physically attracted to her.
That was my wishful thinking. I'm sorry.
That's got to be it. He doesn't even want her to. She probably wants nothing to do with the spotlight anyways, which I don't blame her.
Yeah,
but maybe he doesn't think she's as attractive.
He doesn't.
That sounds so sick and disgusting. But I know people like that.
That's it.
I know people like that, men and women that will like take their favorite looking kid out and not the other ones. I grew up around people like that too.
It's just narcissism. Like narcissism meets patriarchy, and then it like
match made in hell.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, that was a really awesome tea time. Thank you so much for sending that in. Ladies, keep them coming. And yeah, we love these. So we will see you back for our main segment to talk about Mother's Day. And we're back. Happy Mother's Day to any mothers that are listening right now. And let's talk about how this day, I was kind of joking earlier in the group text. I said it's like my Super Bowl every year. But as somebody who's been following like women's issues for a long time, Mother's Day has always been one of those days where, like, I don't know, the subreddits that I normally follow to read about women's issues, because that's what most like female-centered subreddits eventually devolve into, is like complaining about men and like women's issues and stuff, because these things are so prevalent. I'd be subscribed to, you know, the mom subreddit, the marriage subreddit, all of those subreddits. And the only thing that for the most part you see on Mother's Day is the stories of neglected, forgotten, ignored mothers. And they're being ignored by the people that they bore children with, like, for. And yeah, I don't know, it's crazy to me to see how much like our society tries to convince women to have children, tries to convince women that motherhood is the most important, you know, job in the world, and that, like, you know, there's like leftist propaganda trying to convince women to not be mothers. And it's like, we don't need leftist propaganda.
Literally.
We don't.
You just need to go on the damn internet and be able to see that men will treat you like shit no matter what you do, no matter how many children you pop out,
Exactly.
no matter how much you treat, like, no matter, and like the story of these women is always the same. I do everything every single day, from the morning time, from when I wake up to when my head hits the pillow. I'm serving everybody in the house but myself, the children, the husband, the mother-in-law. Like, I'm caretaking of family members, like mine, his, distant relatives, whatever. He's sending money overseas, like all this stuff. I say nothing. I don't complain. I do it all with a smile on my face, and fuck him at the end of the night. And this one day out of the year, he's like, oh, it's just another day. It's a Hallmark holiday. Well, you don't need all that, do you?
One day out of the year. Just one day.
One day.
Which is actually very ridiculous when you think about it. I mean, because you should celebrate your wife and your mom or whatever.
Should also have like
every
your
day.
anniversaries, your Valentine's, your birthdays. You should also get to have those days too. But like the fact that you can't even have a Mother's Day, on top of the fact that you don't get a birthday, on top of the fact that you don't get a Valentine's and all that other stuff, like that just seems so lonely to me. Like it really is a bunch of married single moms out here. I pray for y'all. Y'all are braver than our U.S. Marines, for real.
I always say it. And I think it's way more married single mothers than there isn't. Just because, you know, most men marry for that purpose. They marry for the convenience of your free labor. That's the whole point. So naturally, that's going to be the outcome for the average woman. So why do it? And they wonder why we don't want to have kids. It's like
y'all don't need leftist propaganda. You just need a Reddit account, and then from Reddit go to the Am I the Asshole subreddit, and it's always some woman there who is like has like the most basic complaint about, you know, a Mother's Day thing, where it's like just the one day out of the year I just expected a little bit of me time and I couldn't even have that. And I snapped at my husband because I got frustrated that I had to take care of the kids on the one day that I should have had like a me day, like a spa day. And I snapped at him, and then my husband said that all this and this, and it's like abuse being thrown at this poor woman. And then now she's like wondering like maybe I took it too far. And it's like, oh my God, you are in hell. You are seriously a hostage.
Yes. And it's crazy how much like regular people will jump in to be like crabs in a bucket. Oh, did you communicate? Did you tell him?
Always those comments.
And I read so many stories this year and like the years prior that the wife did communicate. There were so many stories that literally hurt to read, because you're reading the story of a woman who has done everything and then some. Like there was this woman who was like, I texted him the gifts, like the links to the gifts. I texted him the place, to where to take me. I hinted to him that the reservations were filling up and that the restaurant posted on Instagram that the reservations are filling up or they're full or whatever. And he was just like, oh, okay, oh, well. I sent him the links to the gifts I wanted and he didn't even click on them. Like all this kind of stuff where the woman is like, no, I'll lay it out for you.
Yeah.
I'll lay it out for you.
Which
Like
is
I
sad
do.
in and of itself.
Exactly. Because at the point that you're having to do that, that is already how little he values you at all. And some women would be happy with that. And these men still go out of their way to not do it. Like at this point, it's more effort to not do it. And they're like, yeah, I don't want to do it.
It's a power move. It's these men want to feel like they're in control.
The cruelty is the point.
It's almost like if I make her happy, I'm failing as a man. Something's not right. She can't get what she wants. She's not gonna. You know what I mean? That's what it's almost starting to feel like. It's like they're doing this shit on purpose to like the egg apron situation.
Yeah.
You wanted tickets to Greece, but I'm gonna give you an egg apron to remind you that your place is in the kitchen or out there in the farm, harvesting eggs or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's the same concept to me. These men, so either these men really are dumb as fuck and incompetent for real. Like the chromosome is just like literally degenerating and they really just don't get it, or they're doing it on purpose. Like those are the only two options.
They wouldn't do this at their job, so that's how I know it. They're not that stupid.
That's what I'm saying.
Because if your boss tasked you with doing something, you would do it, and you would get. I mean, you are getting paid for it, but still. But like, how is that any different from? Yeah, exactly. You would just, and I really wish more women would just fire their husbands. Like, just get that divorce, sweetie. Like, it's just not worth it.
That's why they don't feel like they have any power at work. That's why when they come home, they feel like they can lord over the household and like not do the most basic shit. Like just thinking about this is pissing me off.
Right?
Women just need to. I really wish women had the backbone to just, and some women do, but I mean, like more women just had the backbone to leave. You will be better off. And then Gwen, was it you that was saying that there was a woman who said she wasn't expecting anything and she didn't get anything and she was still disappointed?
Oh, I think that was Lisa. She put it in the group chat of these subreddit horror stories that she was finding on these subreddits. Yeah, that is sad. These women are like, I expected nothing, and I'm still somehow disappointed.
Yeah, check this one out. Like, I was going to read a couple just to like give people an example because this is why I say what I say. And I don't mean, like, I really don't want people to think that this is my first year doing this, okay? Like, I do this every year.
Right.
I go through these posts every year and they, like, you can't make this shit up.
Right.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. This is not made up. So we've got, am I being ungrateful on Mother's Day? First, happy Mother's Day, mamas. If you're unappreciated, I'm proud of you and you deserve more. If you are appreciated, I'm proud of you and you deserve more. Now for my Mother's Day. For some context, I'm asexual. Always have been due to severe trauma, just taking away any chance of enjoying the sex at a very young age. My husband has always known this, and even though I think we have a good sex life, no less than 2 to 3 times a week, but sometimes 4 to 5, it has always been an issue, me being asexual, but we have always worked through it. So mind you, she's already like doing everything that she can. Like this sounds horrifying already, first of all, but okay. Well, for the last few days, my husband kept talking about how he has the most amazing gift for me. He has been planning it out and knows I will love it. And he got so excited last night that he finally told me his plan for today. I was thinking he was going to take me out, hire a maid, give me a massage, etc. Nope. His gift is sex. He had this whole plan for us to be in bed together all day when we have a 2-year-old so I can have round after round of relaxing enjoyment. His words, not mine.
Sovereign.
Sovereign, I want you to know Ryan is in the same position as you right now. You guys look exactly the same. Yeah. Yep. This is the reaction I was expecting.
I'm so sorry to laugh.
No, I know.
Oh my God.
Can you fucking believe this?
Her husband needs to be taken out back.
No, seriously.
Know.
Seriously.
Right?
This is a malfunctioning
like old Yeller
model. Yeah. This is a malfunctioning appliance. Like this is crazy. This is crazy.
Oh my God.
Unreal.
Yeah. Wow.
Unreal behavior.
Okay.
Sis. Oh.
Listen. I never understood that. To me, that's just proof that men marry for convenience and not love. Because if you know you have a high sex drive, why the fuck would you marry somebody who's asexual?
First of all.
Why?
And he's known this and like, yeah. And apparently she does like everything in her power to not, like, she's not even acting asexual.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, clearly she's like sacrificing something for him. And yeah, she goes, I couldn't hide my disappointment because no, this gets better. So watch this. Because this is the second, because there's a second movement to this. All right. This is the trick that they always have up their sleeve. Because when you confront them about it, now you're the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
So this tells me that he doesn't actually listen to me. His gift is something he knows I don't enjoy and I view as a marital obligation. It is a gift for him, not me, that I know he's also expecting on Father's Day for himself. It's a gift that will send me into a traumatic headspace. It's a gift that turns me into an object for his pleasure rather than one that appreciates what I've done as the mother of his child. And I've never been more turned off in my life, and my light switch doesn't even work. I tried
I like
to
that
nicely,
analogy.
I tried to nicely tell him no, that's not something I want, but he became upset. Now it's Mother's Day, and he isn't currently speaking to me because he is so hurt that I didn't want his gift. He has no
I think she should
intention.
divorce him.
Yes, he
It's
has no
only gonna get
intention of
worse.
doing anything else because now he doesn't feel appreciated. This is fucking crazy. Like, you cannot tell me that these men don't hate women. Like, you hate women, you hate your wife. There's absolutely nothing that will convince me that any of this came from a good place.
Facts.
You're a fucked up person. You should be taken out back. Like, seriously.
It almost sounds
what
like
are you
he's
contributing
cheating.
Put him in
to
the gladiator
society?
pits.
I kind of get the feeling he's cheating.
Yeah.
Just because I don't know, men will do weird
none of
stuff
this-
like this in order to like justify, you know what I mean? Like doing, I don't know.
None of this screams respect to me. And when there's no respect, you know, like that automatically just means that like they're selfish and they're probably just gonna go out and do their own thing. Like if I don't get it from you,
He's absolutely,
then there's always
absolutely.
another woman who will, or however they put that. I see
I'll
it
let
too.
her, like, have fun, babe. I don't know. Like,
It
what
just-
do you mean? Like, at this point, anything to get that man off your hands will be a good thing. Like, if he cheats on you, good, let him go. Like,
Yeah.
at this point, you can't convince me that he doesn't actually hate you. Like, he doesn't
Right.
like you.
I don't know how long she said they were married, but if she even said it at all, I'm not sure. But I'm pretty sure he knows that would have pissed her off.
Yeah.
That's what makes me think he's probably cheating.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times guys will start a fight or they will do something that they know will piss you off, and that'll give them the out to go do what they were already planning on doing.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, if she stays in this marriage, it's only going to get worse. I feel bad for her, but you got to
there
leave.
is no light at the end of this tunnel.
No, there is no light at all. It's done.
There's no reward for even
Yeah,
having
it's
his child. Like he's not gonna treat you any different. As
Oh, if you have a
we've
child
now
with
learned,
him,
yeah.
it's going to get 10 times worse.
Oh yeah.
As a
It
matter of
always
fact,
does.
having a kid, that's probably the thing that's going to make him leave you, if anything. That will be the beginning of the end. If you don't end it, he will eventually. So
One of these days we ought to talk about the Madonna horror complex that men have after you have a child.
Oh,
Yeah, we should.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That and yeah. Well, a lot of them just feel like at that point they have trapped you and
they've
they don't
conquered
need
you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They don't need to do anything else. There was a story about a mom who got jelly beans on Mother's Day.
Oh, I gotta read that. Hold up. Let me pull that up.
She said, I'm currently 9 weeks pregnant, so this is my first Mother's Day. I know some people may not consider it, but I do. And my husband as well. He told me last week we would be celebrating. My husband wished me a happy Mother's Day today, but he didn't get me flowers or anything thoughtful. Just a bag of jelly beans from the grocery store. The thing is, my glucose is high and I'm at risk for gestational diabetes.
No.
I was in the ER earlier this week because I'm having anemia.
And he knows that?
She was in the ER, so I fucking hope he knows. And he knows that, so why candy of all things?
He's trying to kill her.
He gonna kill you.
He wants you to die.
Yes.
He probably doesn't want that
and
baby.
it's time we start calling it like we see it.
Yeah.
That man took out a life insurance policy on you, and that's why he's trying to do innocuous things like give you candy, so that way when you die of natural causes because you had candy, he could pull that bag out and he could secure his.
He's absolutely.
That's how you know.
He is absolutely. Because a lot of times guys will pretend like they're happy when a woman is pregnant. But
Yes.
really, it starts to set in like, oh my God, I'm trapped. There's other women I want to fuck. There's other women that I want. The one that got away, I still might have a chance with her. So they freak out. And you will not convince me otherwise. If he knows all of that and he gave her a bag of jelly beans. Is jelly beans her favorite candy? Like, where did jelly beans come from? How come not Starburst
I don't
or
think
whatever?
jelly beans is anybody's favorite
But
candy.
Yeah,
to be
she
honest.
didn't
But
say
regardless-
anything.
No,
Yeah.
no, those Starburst jelly beans are But anyways.
I'm a nerds kind of girl.
Oh my God. They're the best fucking jelly beans ever in life. But no, he's trying to kill her. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
What the fuck? Oh my God.
Oh wait, hold on.
I'm not even laughing at it. I'm just laughing at the situation. Because what the did she not put two and two together? Did she keep going on to say?
Yeah. And not to mention that the cruelty is the point of him being like, oh yeah, we're going to celebrate Mother's Day. And then the celebration is a bag of jelly beans. Like,
oh my God.
When most people think of, hey, let's celebrate Mother's Day, like random, what are you thinking? It's like, let's go out to lunch.
Yeah,
like, I made reservations or I'm going to cook you something. Here's some flowers. Yeah. So that's not a celebration. So he's like literally hyping her up.
That's attempted murder.
Yeah. Well, because you guys remember that one doctor who was arrested for slowly trying to poison his pregnant wife. I think we talked about that in that was one of our tea times. Like, men do this. Like, this is
absolutely.
not.
Oh, yeah.
We're not like wildly speculating. Like,
ladies, if you're married, make doubly sure that man is not attached to your life insurance policy. Or he has not a policy against you. And you can check and you can hire a private investigator or a forensic accountant, whatever you need to do just to make doubly sure. So that's just my pro tip out there for y'all.
That is so...
Absolutely. And, a lot of people are like, well, not everybody has like the money to spoil like whatever, like about mothers in general. Like whenever people complain about this, people are like, yeah, it's about money and stuff like that. Let me tell you, it's not about money because Justin Bieber took to Instagram to say, love you moms, but Mother's Day sucks ass on his wife's very first Mother's Day.
Really?
And that man has all the money in the world. He has all the money in the world.
And I saw that one post that went viral on Twitter where he just had a picture of Haley and on the caption it was like, my bitch got pretty toes. Like, my bitch got pretty toes. That was the caption of it. And like, out of all the things to call your wife, you say my bitch. You could have said my honey, my sweetie, my lovely wife.
Also, why are you posting a picture of her feet? Like, that's weird.
I know. Oh,
but
it was weird. Like, it was the whole. I mean, it was the whole picture of her. Like, it wasn't just her toes, but like the focal point was on her feet.
His wife is his beard, in my opinion. Anyways, unfortunately, I'm sorry to say that.
Allegedly, but I would totally agree because he's never been. It's never sat right with me.
Nope.
That whole thing. But it just goes to show you that a lot of men, or like when Future last year made a spectacle of like congratulating every one of his baby mamas with like a separate tweet and like whatever, because he wanted to, I think is because he wanted to humiliate Sierra. Like, men do stuff like this. They really do. They think that like they can humiliate you by quote unquote conquering you, putting a child inside you, being connected to you that way for the rest of your life, having access to you. Were you going to say the Offset thing?
Yes, I was never going to forget Offset for saying I won. I still won.
Because you're my baby mama. Yeah.
That.
Never forget that.
I really hope women were paying attention to that, because that just proves what we've been saying this whole time, which is men will get you pregnant just to handicap your life. Like, that's the whole point. To
and
conquer
have access to you.
Yeah, it's forever. To conquer you. And because Future doesn't have access to Sierra anymore forever, I'm pretty sure she'll never get back with him. That's why he's doing that, because she lives rent-free in his head and it bothers him. She's the one that got away, which I always say it's always better to be the one that got away than the one that,
And look at her. She's thriving. You can tell. Okay, because I'm all for women being able to choose and like have a bunch of kids if they want to. She seems like she's very happy having a bunch of kids. She, in between each kid, she's like glowing up. She's working on her music. She is on TikTok, making TikToks, whatever, doing whatever. And I just love that for her.
I agree. Sierra always, when she first came out, she was like 16 or 17, and she said her goal was to have 5 kids. She has 4. So I don't know if she's going to have another one, but she's been saying that her whole life. So I think that's really what she wants.
Yeah.
Just for people, because there are people out there that are like, oh, Russell Wilson is just trying to knock her up with
kids.
He
needs to stay
she's
off
literally
her.
been wanting to have that. She says she's the only child and she wanted a big family because she's the only kid.
Yeah.
And I love that for her. I love to see her thriving. You can always tell when a woman is loved well. She just has that energy. She just has, she has that glow for sure. So yeah. It's one of those things where I think a lot of men feel so insecure and they're so resentful. Like, I think a lot of men are resentful that they didn't succeed in the patriarchy by like a lot of the like cool means, you know, like that they're not Jeff Bezos or that they're not Elon Musk and that they don't have a bunch of money or that they're not like ripped naturally or that they're not a football player. That
they're not
like,
giga-chads.
Yeah, that they're not a giga-chad, that they're like the next option. And this is like, I'm sorry, I just have to speak the truth. But the bottom of the barrel option for men who didn't succeed in the patriarchy is to find a woman, love bomb her, marry her, put a bunch of children inside her, and then act like he's a patriarch and act like he has a legacy.
Yeah.
And then act like, you know, start abusing that woman, start abusing those children anytime he feels like, I think one of you was saying this earlier, that when they don't feel like the big man at work, when they don't feel like, you know, the patriarchy is working out for them, they come home and they pull the strings. You know, and they feel like they're in charge. And they have this poor woman who's literally just an indentured servant, right? Like there's been a lot of men coming out recently saying, well, why do women have to work? Why do women, why did we make it so that women have to drive into the office and sit under fluorescent lights and work? Yeah, because this is what y'all do. Because when women don't work and they rely on a man, the men are,
Y'all kill us.
Yeah.
First you just kill us.
And it, like even slowly, do you know what I mean? Like how many of these women that made these Mother's Day posts are living right now with like an inflamed immune system, right? Like you're never resting, you're always stressing, you never feel loved. You have to like emotionally support your kids and your husband and nobody emotionally supports you. So you're constantly depleting yourself of resources and your system is inflamed and you have a bunch of cortisol in your body and all of that, it will lead to immune system problems and cancers and things like that. So even when you're not talking about, oh, a man like homicided you, he might be killing you slowly.
And then they'll leave you for inflaming you in that way or giving you an autoimmune disease because now you're not beautiful anymore or you let yourself go.
You're not the carefree woman I once knew.
Yeah, you're not...
You're not the young carefree girl I married.
Exactly. Yeah. Because part
and
of
the common
that,
denominator.
Yeah.
It's the same concept. Yeah, it's the exact same thing because it's like they always say like the poorest people have the most kids or the most uneducated people. And that's just, unfortunately, that's true. It's not to really say anything bad about you, like you're a bad person, but it's giving, I didn't do anything else with my life. I didn't succeed at anything. So I'm just going to have a bunch of kids because there's nothing else for you to do. And that happens for both men and women. But I think men are more diabolical just because they are using a wife and children as pawns in their failed patriarchy game. Like you said, like they didn't succeed in the patriarchy. So it's like, this is their only way. They're either going to take themselves out or they're going to
I need to leave a legacy. And this is my legacy.
Yeah.
And it's just poverty.
And just
keeping women in poverty.
And suffering.
Keeping your children in poverty.
That is a lot of their legacy. No, I can't, Gwen.
And that's poverty.
That's the problem.
That's poverty.
Debt. Non-paid child support, fucking child support payments. What is it called? Arrear? Being in arrears?
Being in arrears. Yeah, that's their legacy.
Beatings, alcoholism, drug that's their legacy. A legacy is dust. That's it.
It's so true. And their own kids will tell you that. Like the kids that they left behind for this legacy, you know what I mean? They're like, I don't know my dad. So what legacy? Like nobody even knows your name. Nobody knows who you were.
I'm not laughing.
Your own. Like seriously. It's like your own children don't know who you are. So what legacy? Where's the legacy? Is it in the room with us? No, it's not. And it never will be. It's so fucking sad.
That's the same tone you had when we were talking about the AI robots and girlfriends. And you were like, look at y'all. Just look at y'all
settling. Yeah. But it's not us. It's not us making male robots that are going to be our butlers and our little maids and their little maid outfits. Like, no, y'all are making robots of us for a reason. Because y'all can't live without us.
Access to us.
And now
now
who's settling?
Exactly.
Oh, that's like my favorite episode. Or favorite clip or whatever. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Because look who settled. You guys settled for
the robots. Because y'all couldn't even settle for a real human.
Right.
You couldn't get a real human woman. You had to get a robot.
that's why I'm happy, because a lot of women are opting out and they're seeing that it is really just access to them that grants men access to the patriarchy. Like, you need a woman to like even enter the patriarchy. Do you know what I mean? Because otherwise, what are you conquering?
You are
what
correct.
are you? Yeah.
A lot
I
of men
never
just get
thought of
married
that,
because it's
but
just
you're
something
right.
on their like little checklist of things to do. Like graduate high school, check. Graduate college, check.
Find
Get
a
a nice
wife,
car,
just-
check.
yeah.
Find a wife,
Yeah.
check. Get married,
Yeah.
check. Have a
a couple
kid,
kids.
check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
have a son.
literally is a check. That's it for a lot of them. That's so sad.
They're not doing it because they have this like, you know, these ideas that, you know, women grew up on Disney fairy tales of love and romance and empathy and care. No, they just do it because it's just on their list of things to do. You're a box to check. Like that's
And you can tell
I'm
it's
sorry.
true by how
they're non-committal and they're not.
They don't participate in the family dynamics.
They don't give you Mother's Day gifts, and they're not because they're not trained to be husbands the way women have trained to be mothers and wives. Like, since we're born with basically a baby doll in our hands, and that like it teaches us how to be mothers and all these things that we're positively rewarded for that men are, you know, pushed out and shunned and called fag for because they cared about, you know, a baby doll or a Barbie doll, and they projected their lives and like care and empathy on these like dolls, and the husbands or like the fathers are be like, that's a little gay, so then I'm gonna take that away. I'm gonna put him in sports, I'm gonna put him in football, and I'm just gonna make sure I can do everything in my power to make sure my son doesn't grow up gay. Like, the worst possible thing to these homophobic parents is that their son grows up gay, but really it just reinforces that bit of misogyny and that bit of hatred for women, because the worst possible thing they could be is a woman or any sort of like delicate or empathetic things that, you know, is attributed to us.
I wouldn't care what my child turned out. I mean, of course, I wouldn't want them to be a serial killer or a rapist, but if they were gay or straight, I wouldn't care. If it was a guy, I wouldn't care. But if it was a girl, unfortunately, I would hope she was a lesbian.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm so serious. Just because I feel like it will save her so much bullshit. Not saying that you don't go through problems with women and women relationships, but the types of diabolical,
different
it's
problems.
very different.
Yeah,
the types of diabolical things that men do, women do those things too. But but generally speaking, they don't. Do you get what I mean?
Yes.
And it wouldn't even be the same motivation anyways.
Yes.
It wouldn't even be the same motivation.
Exactly.
I just, oh God, yeah.
They're less likely to put you in a basement, tie you down, and trap you and do horrible things and pull a Joe from you on Netflix on you.
Well, and a lot of men don't even do that with violence. Like, that's what I keep coming back to, is like a lot of these mothers are already trapped just like that. Like, you're basically living in a glass box in the basement that you can't leave, because if your husband only makes enough money to like keep a roof over your head and keep food in everybody's mouth, like, you don't have leisure time. You're not like going to the fucking farmer's market. You're not like, you may not even be able to drive somewhere because you're like, I don't know if I can put gas in the car today. Do we have $7 in the bank account, or do we have 25? Like, can I put gas? Or is he then going to overdraft the card, like buying some like dip or something at the gas station, you know?
The dip.
And it's very hard. It's very hard when you don't have that double income, because first of all, like, you never get to leave the house. And second of all, you get told that you should just be grateful that your husband, like, quote unquote, supports you and like whatever.
Lets you stay home.
Lets you stay
minimum.
home. Exactly.
It's a trap, ladies.
It is very much a trap.
It just seems like a scam. Like, most of the shit that we do in this country is a scam.
It is a scam. It's absolutely a scam, 100% for women.
Yeah.
Men try to make it seem like it's a trap for them, but it's really not. Because they don't usually adhere to any of the responsibilities.
I know. They're such victims of the whole ball and chain.
How are they trapped if they're out here cheating?
Yeah.
Like, seriously, like, every single man I've ever heard of is like out here cheating on somebody. So how are you trapped?
Exactly.
You're not trapped. If you have time to cheat, if you have the resources
and you don't even get full
to
custody.
cheat. Exactly.
How are you trapped?
You're not trapped with a child. You've never been trapped with a child in your body. A child has never been trapped in your body waiting to come out. Okay, so the men are not trapped in any way.
No.
They just like for women to think that, because again, this is like the benevolent patriarch storyline. This is the, no, but I put the food on your table and I put a roof over your head. Like, so the moment you say that, that means you were doing that for a reason. The moment you come out and admit and throw it in my face that you were doing that, that means you are getting more out of that than me. So just remember that, ladies, because these men are seriously, they're so diabolical. And they really do believe, like, it's the entitlement in it for me too. That, like, I sent you guys those screenshots of the TikToks where it's like, when you want to celebrate, when all you want for Mother's Day is a break, but your husband doesn't believe in the holiday. Or like POV, your husband planned a guy's day on Mother's Day weekend.
Oh my God. These are such blatant.
That's intentional.
Yeah, it's so blatant. I hate that women don't realize. Oh my God. It bothers me so much because even as a kid, I always knew something was off about the way men and women relate to each other. And I never could figure out what it was. I was just like, maybe that's just life. That's just the way things are. They're doing this on purpose. And I really wish more women knew to just leave these men alone and let their genes die out. I am so serious. I just can't.
I don't think
you plan a guy's trip on, like, I can't.
That seemed a little gay too. I'm just saying.
It seems very gay.
Yeah,
nothing wrong with being gay.
Weekends are for the boys.
Nothing wrong with being gay unless you're married and cosplaying as a straight person. Then it's a problem. But if you're gay and everyone knows it and you're not hiding it, it's beautiful. Whatever. I'm not. Right. So yeah, you know what I mean.
That for you.
But yeah, it does sound gay. People. I just wanted to say.
But yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for making that distinction, because a lot of people think that we're trying to like flex on like that we're using the word gay as an insult.
No, it's not an insult.
Never.
It's literally it's the repression.
I wish I was gay.
People
it's the repression of it that perverts everything. Like, you need to be out in the open. Okay, like, more men need to feel comfortable being openly gay, because you're gay regardless.
I agree.
You're gay regardless. And I have a controversial opinion if anybody's here for it.
Yep. Always.
But I don't really, it's hard for me to believe that men are meant to be part of a family unit.
Oh, I absolutely agree with you. It was never, it was another thing forced by the patriarchy. I don't think.
Yeah. The nuclear family was definitely forced on all of us, even for women too. Because
I don't think it's helpful.
I remember
it only exists because men have perpetuated this idea that they need to be protectors and that other men will enact violence on unprotected women and children. That's why we have the nuclear family.
I remember watching the Queenmakers live of hers, like, I want to say a year or two ago. And she was talking about that. And I was like, I agree. She was like, she said basically men were never meant to be trapped. And she used an analogy of like the male cord and the female cord. Like, if you are plugging something in, his energy is, I'm saying this wrong, but I'm trying to like remember exactly.
I think I remember.
It's kind of, I'm saying it just, but the male, their nature is to roam, be free, and like constantly move or something like that. I could be saying it wrong, but it made sense. And I was just like, it makes sense if you just look at their behavior. Like, they're most of them, and I'm not saying all of them, most of them are so bad at being a father, bad at cooking, bad at doing all the basic things that you should do as a human, but they pass it off on to women. It's like, it's so obvious that they don't. Your life is more in jeopardy with them in the house in most cases than the other way around. Do you know what I'm saying?
Because they always want to lead.
They always want to move around.
That's one of the conditions, right? They're not there to take notes from the woman who birthed the children, who spends most of her time there and at home or whatever. Yeah. But then they want to come home and act like they're the one that runs the house when they literally don't run the fucking house. Like,
they want no parts of it.
Oh my God. And my opinion on this is like the only place where I differ from Princella on this is where I would say this is socialized. I do think that like men can be like, if we started with that in young like childhood, I don't think, I don't think it's that big of a deal.
It would be way better than it is.
But I just think they go out there and they see, like, there's so much.
In matrilineal societies, men were the ones who stood home with the kids, while the women went out and hunted and cared for the village and did all the things that men traditionally did.
Yeah, it's all arbitrary. It's like, okay, whatever. If you have like hands and a brain and like eyes, like, I mean, some people don't even have that and they get by just fine. You know what I mean? Like, you don't. it's not like you need anything special that you have between your legs to do any of this stuff other than birth children. Like that is, that's the part. But my whole thing is they just don't think it's cool. And so to me, it's like you're not useful in that manner to a woman.
Not at all.
Because you don't think it's cool to do any of the things that you're going to expect to be important to her. You're going to expect your kids' health, your food, your all of this stuff to be good and to be like thought through. And you're going to expect her to be thoughtful about these things, but you don't want to think about them at all. And in fact, you don't want to be thoughtful about anything. Nope. You don't even want to be thoughtful about the things that are supposed to be your domain. Like these men will get fired from their jobs left and right. Oh, why didn't you show up to work? Oh, I just didn't feel like it. You didn't call your boss. You didn't say anything. No. Like you're not fit for society. No. You're barely like the institutions that men have had like to keep them in line are failing right now because women are entering them, right? So
God bless.
Men don't want to be in schools. They don't want to go to college. They don't want to go to work. All of these things, mind you, were invented to give men something to do, not women.
To give them the leg up, to give them a head start. On top
so
of
why
that.
would you want somebody like that in your house as a woman?
Because they got to have a man.
Because they got to have a man, or because there's no social safety net, right? There's almost no place you can go and say like, oh, I'm a mother. Like they'll be like, okay, get a job. Do you know what I mean? So then like moms who want to like quote unquote stay home and like raise their kids, this is why men are always trying to hoard, the workplace, and they're trying to hoard like education and stuff like that. Cause then you have to go to a man and be like, hey, like, can I like stay home with the kids and like raise the kids and stuff? And like most women don't realize like fully how raw of a deal they're getting with that. And they think it's like a good deal. Yeah.
Yeah. It's usually always way too late. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I personally don't understand how women are okay with that feeling of being stuck in the house with kids and the man just goes out, go to work, go to the bar with his buddies, go play, whatever they do. And like, don't you feel trapped? Mm-hmm. Don't you see the women and hear about all the family members and everybody that are trapped and they're complaining, but women are still signing up for that? And then only to 100% of the time complain yourself later down the road about the same thing. Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't need to be a drug addict. I don't need to, smoke meth or whatever to know that the effects will devastate me and be detrimental to my life. I don't understand
people get
why
hooked on meth every single day. That's what I'm saying.
I don't understand like how people's brains don't connect the dots. It doesn't make sense to me. You see what's happening, and you suffer from, I don't think it's going to happen to me syndrome. Like I always say, that's got to be it, because why?
When I studied addiction, it didn't start as like, I'm just going to smoke meth to smoke meth. It started as like, it was cheaper to access than something like Adderall, who have like similar effects to like stay up all night to like do the things that you need to do. So if you didn't have access to somebody who had like a prescription of it, it was actually just easier to like go out and find somebody who, probably has meth. And then you just start with a little teeny tiny bit of it just to kind of hopefully give you enough energy to make it throughout the day. And I've heard that it's actually the most common people addicted to meth are mothers of young children, because they use it to stay up all night to take care of them.
But what about cocaine and fucking crack? Which I know, like, in the crack epidemic in the Black community.
Cocaine's actually a white-collar drug. So more people who do white-collar types of jobs have a lot more access to cocaine and are addicted to cocaine. So people who are lawyers, people who are doctors, people who are engineers, they all have access to that. And also people who do like entertainment industry, especially the entertainment, like actors, producers.
I'm terrified.
Yeah.
They to me, they are like a serial killer. Like the stuff that people do when they're high on coke, like I'm terrified. You might as well tell me you put me in a room with a fucking axe murderer.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
And some of these drugs are so harsh and so punishing that you can't just like quit it cold turkey. Like you have to like taper off.
Yeah, you have to taper off after it already ruined you.
The effects that it does to your body.
Yeah, after it's already
ruined. Okay, so now
really
replace the word drugs with the word patriarchy, right? Women are literally going to be like, oh, I just need a little bit of patriarchy, right? Just enough, like, and then I'll do my part. I'll stay skinny, I'll stay pretty, I'll do this, and then when they
that's also another reason why people choose to do crack crack and coke and meth because it also
women used
has that
to be
effective.
And this used to be
It's an
legal.
appetite
I mean,
killer.
they used to just put women on Quaaludes and like diet pills or whatever, which was
I
basically
think it's
meth.
different in the Black community because the people I know who got on drugs just did it because of peer pressure. It was just like,
peer
try
pressure is
this.
a big thing.
I've never known
again-
anybody to not. I've never known anybody to get on drugs to not. So how am I trying to say? Everybody that I've ever known to start drugs, it was peer pressure. Like literally everybody. It was like, oh, try this, and they just tried it, and then next thing you know, they were hooked. And then they kept making excuses for why they needed it, and it just got worse. And then they became addicted, and then, you know, they either died or they got clean or whatever. But that was just the way it was. And it terrified me.
I think this happens to women too. I think peer pressure, right? You start seeing your friends get married and they're having like these cool parties and they're wearing like this beautiful dress and all the things that you've been told are so important your whole life. And a man picked them and now it doesn't look so bad, you know? And this is what I was saying, like to a lot of the young girls that like listen to my content or like this podcast or anything, it's like your friends are going to start making decisions, you know, even if you start out, you know, I've talked about how this happens with boys and stuff, but this happens with girls too. Some girls start out with being like, oh, I don't want to get married. I don't want a boyfriend, like, etc. But then their friends start getting married and having boyfriends and like having kids by men and stuff. And all you see is the highlight reels of these people's lives. And you're like, well, wait, I don't feel fulfilled. And like, I don't, you know, what about me? And like, that looks kind of nice. And it's just, it's kind of resembles peer pressure to me, honestly. And it resembles like drugs in a way that, you know, I think some women are like, oh yeah, I'll quit my job just while I recover. I'll just do the maternity leave. And then they're like, well, yeah, but I don't want to go back and like put my baby in daycare. And like, it's the same progression. You get hooked on the benevolent patriarch. You're like, I'm not going to go back to work. I want to stay home with my baby. My husband will take care of us. Oh, I'll take a break. I'll go to work for like 1 to 3 years. Oh, well, 3, they're still too young. They're not in school yet. Let me go back to work once they're in school.
And also a lot of employers don't want to overlook that. They see the 3-year gap and they don't take into account that you were like staying home with your kid.
That's exactly what I was
explain
saying.
that, they don't
do
care.
take into account. They don't give a damn.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They don't
You're
care.
confined. Once you become a mother, you are a mother. You're nothing else but a mother in the eyes of society and patriarchy. Like, that's it. You can't dress a certain way anymore. You can't talk about this. We don't care. Your ass is supposed to be at home raising those kids. You're not supposed to come back to work. That's why a lot of jobs will discriminate against women when they find out you're pregnant, because they're like, it's not like, oh, she's going to go on maternity leave and come back. A lot of times it's, we lost another employee. Good riddance.
They see you as less dedicated.
They see you as, it's like they already.
Now you'll be more dedicated to your family like you're supposed to be. Now you're more dedicated to being the default parent. You're going to be the one that's going to get called out every time that your kid gets sick at daycare.
It's never the father.
Or at school. It's never going to,
That's the top reason, I swear, I'm like, I would have lost my job by now if I had a baby.
Oh, absolutely.
Same.
Like, fuck that. Wouldn't be able to go to school, wouldn't be able to do shit.
When I had like my female dominated job, like I worked with majority women because I worked at Ulta for like 7 years. And so like I always saw the difference in treatment after one of my coworkers had a baby. Like she got less hours and she got, you know, less, like she had less opportunities given to her to be able to be promoted.
Yeah.
So,
and a lot of women.
Once you have a baby,
women
it's
have
a wrap
that
for most
excuse of like, oh yeah, well, my income was just paying for the daycare. And it's like, why your income? Why was it why is your income automatically considered the thing that goes to daycare? Like, why aren't you both paying?
Or
like,
no,
if you both
how come
work,
your husband isn't providing the 100% for everything? Like y'all love to say.
Yeah.
But see, the thing is, when women do that, they're only hurting themselves. Because you're going to be the one when the shit hits the fan that don't have anything to fall back on. The man is going to walk away if he feels like it. And he's going to fight you tooth and nail with that divorce lawyer because he needs that money to impress his next bitch. Sorry.
Exactly.
But that's just the way. If y'all ever wonder why these men, and I'm saying bitch just used to be funny, but y'all ever wonder why these men fight women in divorce? That's why they fight you so hard not to give you alimony or child support, because they got to impress their new woman. You've let yourself go. You've gotten old. You hit the wall.
That's why I could never be the second wife, especially if your first wife had a kid. Like I would just look at you so funny because Like, why are you spending time with me instead of like your, family that you just left behind? Like,
agree.
you had a wife and you had a kid, but you're with me. Like, that just seems so, like, I
Because it
couldn't be
is.
with a man that has a
Because it
kid.
is.
It's very, it's giving the other woman, and I don't want to be a part of that. And that seems like so much drama. After I was
the
living
first
my
wife
life,
didn't work out. She probably
child-free.
expected too much of you or whatever.
Yeah.
It just seems losery. Like, you give off loser vibes.
I agree.
You're used goods.
You just want to run away.
Damaged goods.
You're showing, it's giving, I'm running away from my responsibilities.
Exactly. Yes.
It turned out to be too much more than I could handle. It's so childish. But yeah, that's why. That's the reason.
Yeah. And ladies, don't ever think, that's what I'm saying. Do not fall for the benevolent patriarch thing, because they're not benevolent. Okay. They use their resources to impress and trap you. And now they, like Sovereign said, they need those same resources to impress and trap another woman, because that's what they need to survive under the patriarchy. And if your husband is already like letting you down on Mother's Day, like he doesn't give, whatever, what makes you think he's going to be nice to you in a divorce, or like he's not going to screw you over?
Exactly.
Like he already doesn't care about you. So we have to wrap this up. But yeah, that's happy Mother's Day, y'all. Like, I don't, it is so, it's just so insulting. Like, I hate seeing this every year. I really do, because it's a mass humiliation ritual. And to all the mothers that were properly celebrated, like I given flowers and massages and spa days, that is the bare minimum. That is the bare fucking minimum. And I'm happy for you, and I'm glad that happened. But just never forget, like, don't be out here thinking like, oh, like my husband, my man. You used your body to birth children like that are half his, that are going to have his last name. Don't ever forget that they're going to carry his legacy. So even though they're your children, like whatever, etc., he owes you a big one. And like a lot of women will just take that for granted and be like, oh no, like it's my pleasure. Like, please. Oh my gosh. And this is why we can't have nice things.
Don't be a doormat.
You know what I just thought about real quick is remember how the men get mad at Mother's Day every year and say, what about Father's Day? What about the fathers?
Yeah.
I'm wondering, is this a part of them like clapping back? Like they're trying to get back at mothers for being celebrated for Mother's Day, because Father's Day don't get nowhere near the exact same attention as Mother's Day, like the day itself, not the individual women.
That's because we're all the fathers.
I know.
Who are we celebrating?
I know that's
they're having
why,
a dude's night.
but they don't understand that. They're like, well, you know what? Why don't we? But I'm wondering if the fathers are doing this on purpose because they don't get that.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
They're so petty, vindictive.
I really think there's a correlation.
But the
somewhere
truth
in there.
is,
For me.
yeah, maybe. But the truth is, a lot of women have to be told to like match the same energy on Father's Day, and they're like, I don't know if I can. It just feels so mean. So I don't. It's like I think the fathers that don't get celebrated is because they're not around. Like there's a lot of like I think the reason
I always
Father's
think that's
Day
like
is
a
not a
tell.
big deal. Yeah, it's
I think
because
that's
who would
them
you
telling on
celebrate if they're
themselves.
not there?
Yeah.
And I think they're mad that Mother's Day comes first.
Yeah.
And stuff
Stupid
like that.
shit.
There was that
Childish.
one guy that was mad about, oh, my birthday didn't get celebrated as much because it fell on Father's Day weekend. So this year we're celebrating Father's Day like 2 months later or something like. I don't know if y'all remember that.
Like
but,
I don't even.
I always think that that's them telling on themselves, because it's like the men that complain about how like, oh, my birthday didn't get celebrated. It's like, well, are you the one that also goes out of your way to plan for your friends' birthdays? Are you the one that makes sure your friends have a birthday cake or like balloons or something, or like something planned? Like, are y'all also doing that for your friends? Because if you're not doing that for your friends aren't doing that for you. And that goes for women too. Like,
I hope so, ladies. Please take a fucking hint. Seriously, like stop celebrating that man. If you can't leave the marriage, just at least gray rock in it, because you're setting yourself up for a disappointment every
do some
single
quiet
time.
quitting.
Yeah.
Quiet quit that marriage.
Quiet quitting.
Exactly.
I almost wonder too, like if women actually went through with it and matched their energy on Father's Day, if anything, that might be the thing that make them want to do something for you next year, because now they're probably scared that you're leaving. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe some guys don't care one way or another. But I would absolutely
cases, that
play
might
that
work.
game. Yeah. If you really, but that's so sad that you have to do that anyway. You know what I mean?
It is.
I don't know.
I would just
It's
leave.
a lose-lose.
That seems miserable.
Yeah. I don't know.
And I know, like, ideally, like, it just seems easy to leave. But I don't know. I would just start at least making a plan. Like, put together a go-go bag, get some cash, start taking the cash option at the grocery store if you're paying with this card.
Yes.
Get stuffing that squirrel fund away. Absolutely.
On Father's Day.
Get some extra clothes.
On Father's Day, we're going to tell the guys, here's your Darwin Award. Godspeed.
Put that on your show.
Your Father's Day gift's right here. He's taking a nap. He's 4 years old.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm laughing. I'm talking about your video, Lisa. I was crying. I was in tears.
Thank you so
Godspeed.
much. I get so hyped when you send in those.
I would start hyping your kid up as the Father's Day gift. Like, this is our 4-year-old. Like, happy Father's Day. Like, I gave birth to him from my body. You're welcome.
A major gift from scratch.
That was the ultimate gift.
I gave you a legacy.
That was a self-sacrifice.
A legacy.
This is your legacy right here.
Exactly.
Not lineage.
Emphasis on the
It's
legacy
so sad.
part.
Yes, for sure.
Especially if they use that too. If they talk about legacy a lot, be like, well, there's your legacy right there. What are you doing for him?
Exactly.
Or her?
All right. Well, it's time to dig into our mailbag. Once again, happy late Mother's Day to y'all, but we'll be right back. Alrighty, welcome back. Let's look what's in our mailbag today. So we always say this, but we like to keep these anonymous just in case. So this is from one of our listeners. And they say, I would be interested in hearing your thoughts on patriarchy in language, words and phrases, etc. Patriarchy is literally everywhere we look, and it's not always obvious, but growing up hearing words like mankind, manpower, mailman, and snowman have definitely influenced us in believing men are more important. Another thing that bothers me a lot is that it's always assumed it's a guy or bro when talking about animals, inanimate objects, and even when someone is addressing a group of women. Why is it always, guys, shall we go? Or, hey, guys. If there were 10 women and 1 man and you called them girls, it would be considered offensive to the man. Yet it is so normalized to have guy as the default that no one bats an eye even when talking with your female friends and saying, okay, guys, let's go. I said guys like 10 times in the opening segment.
Hey, guys.
I was like, what's
Oops.
up, guys?
Yeah.
I've been training myself to replace masculine words with neutral words using results I find when searching gender-neutral words for professions. I haven't decided a good word to replace guys when talking to a group of people. I guess y'all could be good. I would love to see more people actively stop using unnecessarily masculine words in everyday life. We need to decenter men in our language as well. Like I said, I have some hot takes on this. I have some hot opinions, but
I want to hear your spicy take.
Yeah, that's...
Well, first of all, I do also try to do this, but here's the thing. Like, I think some people underestimate how much certain terms can be considered gender neutral depending on your location. Like, I'm from the Pacific Northwest, and guys is very gender neutral. Like, you could be talking to a whole group of women and you would still say, hey, guys. And like, it's just not so I've noticed that, and I've tried to start replacing it with y'all. But y'all need to understand I'm all the way on the other side of the country where the word y'all is not like, people keep asking me like, are you from the South? And I'm like, not even close. Never even been to the South.
Yeah.
Going to the South for like the first time in 15 years to see Beyonce. So no, I'm not from the South, and using y'all feels disingenuous to like where I live and like how we all speak. And so to me, it's kind of like, I don't know, at a certain point, it feels disingenuous to use y'all because it is such a Southern thing. I'm not Southern. I'm not even from America. Yeah. So it's like, it's a very interesting like thing to, I don't know, like not demand, exactly, but like, I don't know. And at some point to me, it's like, as women, is this like the thing to be focusing on like right now? Like, I'm just saying like there's so much going on, right? Roe v. Wade is overturned, whatever. And
they're coming after our money.
They're coming after our
Opportunity
money.
Act.
And yet in like so many comment sections, like, or even my own content, people will be like, oh, why'd you say guys? And I'm like, guys, this is not what fucking matters right now. This is not the hill to die on right now, because, and it's like, oh, well, if we were just to call a group of people girls, wouldn't that be offensive to men? So do it.
Or just say, hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody. There you go. There's everybody. There's folks, right? People can use the word folks if you're really
friends.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, friends.
So, I mean, if you're really hurting for it, there's plenty of words you can use to like describe things. And I do believe it's problematic. And I do believe we need to work these things out of our vernacular eventually. But I also just think sometimes
that's not the battle to be fighting right now.
I don't know. Right.
Yeah. Right now, it just seems kind of trivial amongst other issues that we have that are currently a lot more pressing, like the Equal Credit Opportunity Act coming under fire. And then before that, it was the SAVE Act that was coming under fire for our voting rights. And I don't know, like it seems like one of those hair splitting issues that we talked about before. So there are ways to kind of do what's called microfeminism, where if somebody's talking about a doctor, you automatically assume it's a woman and be like, oh, well, what does she do? Like, what is her? That. Yeah. See, there are some ways you can kind of change the narrative on that. But to make that the focal, I guess, point in today's world, I don't know. I just don't see that as being one of those things that feminism itself is going to co-opt and make a big deal out of. Whenever I think feminism now should be a lot more focused on returning Roe and preserving whatever rights that we still have while we still can, because they are coming after birth control. They are coming after the ability to vote. They are coming after various things, and also apparently mixed, like, interracial marriages. They're coming after that next too, and they're coming after gay rights, and they're coming after all these other groups that are being targeted. And they're also currently in Texas putting people in camps. So I don't know. For me, I don't care. I'm sorry. I don't care.
I think what's happening,
we say y'all.
What's happening is that a lot of women are waking up to realizing that we're all operating under the patriarchy, and we have been this whole time.
Yes.
And so it's going to look different for each woman, the realization that they come to and the things that they start to notice little by little. I think that's what's happening. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that per se. That is not the thing to focus on, though. I agree. But it's kind of like if a person finds out that it's like if you watch a documentary and you find out that there's pus and blood and milk, which is true, by the way.
It is.
And then
that's why they pasteurize
That's why they have to pasteurize it. And then you see everybody drinking milk, and you're like, hey, you shouldn't be drinking the milk. You shouldn't be drinking. It's kind of like that. Once you come across or discover something new, you just feel like everybody needs to know, and you need to like tell, and everybody needs to be focused on not drinking the milk. It's the same concept. Right.
My only problem is, what does it result in? It results in women policing other women.
It does.
And it's like, at a time like this, because men are not going to be in my comment section being like, hey, you said guys, and like, I just don't think that's very feminist of you, like, da-da-da. No, it's going to be other women, and it's going to give us the illusion of, okay, we're all divided. Yeah. And it's just not helpful, because the last thing we need right now is to be policing each other, like I was talking about in the beginning. Is like, we're at a point where we're policing each other more than we're policing men for like the things we should be policing them for, or like we're not policing Republican women, we're policing other leftist women, being like, oh, why did you say guys and not y'all and not folks and whatever? Okay, like really, this is what we're gonna be doing. And I also want to address the inanimate objects thing, because plenty of inanimate objects are referred to as a she. They're just possessions that men typically tend to own, like their car or their boat or whatever. And so that's not gonna solve, gendering nouns differently isn't going to solve misogyny. It's like men definitely refer to certain objects as she. It's just objects that they can feel like they can own and degrade or whatever. So
because
I don't
exactly
know
how they see women as
in Latin-based languages, they use like le or la, like in French or in Spanish. So
in
like
Russian too.
Yeah, and in various countries, I imagine they have their own gendered nouns that they use for different people, place, objects, things, and all that. So we're the only country that automatically, I think, uses like the more masculine form, I guess. But it's just, I don't know, that's just the way languages have evolved. So there's that to contend with. But it's not that what you're saying is invalid, because I don't want to invalidate you in any way. I just, again, I agree with Lisa and Sovereign. That's just not the thing that we should be really focusing on, because I think a lot more women are going to take this and run with it and just police people in the comments and take it a little too far, when we need to be really a lot more focused on unifying us as one voice. So I would be a lot more willing to just overlook a woman who uses like guys or male man or manpower and things like that, just because like, what's the main point that she's trying to say? And get to the bottom of that and work through that. And like, once we have all of our things restored back to us, like our rights, and once we're, a lot more sovereign in this country, then I think we can come back to that decision, and maybe we can start writing the laws to where we can make it illegal for men to say manpower, and you can only say female power or woman power.
Yes.
But kudos to this person for starting to recognize.
Absolutely.
Because that's the first step. We just don't want for us to, when we come to these realizations, to use that to police another woman. Just use that in your everyday life And then after a while, you will probably start to see other women catching
be
on
the change
naturally.
you want to see
be
in
the
the world.
change.
Yes.
Period.
And so kudos to her, because in any way that women start to wake up, no matter how small it is a positive.
This is all a step in the right direction.
1000%. Just don't get stuck there. Don't get stuck on, oh, but you said this and not this.
Yeah.
And I would have said it like that. And like, are you a feminist? Or are you putting on makeup? Are you doing this? It's just, I'm
don't start
tired.
that.
I'm personally asking y'all to stop.
Yeah.
Like begging.
We can't gatekeep feminism.
Yeah,
Begging.
please.
I don't even want to gatekeep it.
So this is what we're not doing. We're not policing women's makeup. We're not policing what the fuck women wear to the gym. We're not policing anything that doesn't directly affect a woman and her safety. If it's going to affect your safety, or if it's going to, it's going to be rights taken away from us all or something, that's something that you would focus on. So what people choose to do, the small, tiny things that people choose to do, and just let's not do that, y'all. Because the men in the patriarchy are doing that enough. Like they've been doing that this whole time, and that's a big part of where the reason why the world is exactly where it's at right now. So let's not do that to each other. And even if you want to, don't do it in public spaces. You know what I mean? Like let's have some girl
Don't let
code.
a man see women
Don't let
arguing.
a man, exactly.
Because I promise you, it's not going to get you any cool points with men. Even if you're chosen, you're going to be the chosen one to get played and dogged out. And that's just the way that, you're not going to, doesn't matter if you're conservative or liberal, men are going to fuck you over regardless, if that's what they want to do. Like, it doesn't matter if you dress up, it doesn't matter if you dress down, it doesn't matter if you wear makeup, it doesn't matter if you don't wear makeup. All the women who wear makeup that we know about, like famous women, all been cheated on. Who cares? The women that don't wear makeup been cheated on. The women who wear sweatpants and t-shirts to the gym, or the ones who wear lingerie to the gym, have all been cheated. It doesn't matter. Like, the men are still going to use women against each other, and we cannot allow that. We just have to stop that amongst ourselves, and that's all I got to say about it.
Amen.
Bars.
Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you for that mailbag inquiry, and I hope you know that we love you, and it's, that's just our general advice, right? Like, love that for you. Love that you're looking for opportunities to uplift women and to, sort of phase male-centered language out. We love that. We just have like really big fish to fry right now. So that's kind of what we got to focus on.
Shark size fish.
Yeah.
Well,
Did I mention like they're putting people in camps right now? Like
Yeah.
Is it the immigrants?
And they're
is that
arresting-
the immigrant stuff? What is that?
That's ICE.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, ICE is, ICE. We don't even know if they're actually federal agents or if they're just people who are just been waiting for this opportunity
that's the scary
to beat
part.
up on. Because, these Gravy SEALs have been in hiding, and they waited until these BLM protests to go bring a gun and play victim, to go have an excuse to shoot people. Like, they've been here.
Yeah, you're talking about the
think
deputized citizens. Yeah.
That's honestly...
That's who I think they are.
I really think that's very possible. Oh, my goodness. I don't even want to think about that.
I'm scared. They're in my city. I'm scared. Like, that's... And I knew that... Well, I had a theory that if Kamala won, this would embolden that base to go out and do crazy shit. But also, if Trump won, like, either way, like, they were already just going to be emboldened. But especially they've got that signal now from their man on the inside, which is Trump, to go act out their fantasies of, defending their land and the land of freedom and all that. And just, they're very radicalized right now. And I don't think anybody's really doing anything to stop them. And even like certain politicians have come out and said that the enemy within, or like the domestic terrorist groups that we should be worried about, is white supremacist groups. And I
but they don't want to listen to that.
Nope. So
I would just like
I agree,
sorry,
though.
producer Ryan sent me the funniest thing. Because and I just want to end the segment with it. I don't know if y'all ever saw that. Somebody on Slack saying, "Guys, I'm stuck in the WeWork lift." And then there's like that automatic Slack bot response that's like, "Hi, guys is a gendered pronoun. We recommend alternatives like folks, everyone, y'all, team, crew, etc.
folks,
We appreciate your help in building an inclusive workspace." And then he goes, "Folks, I'm stuck in the WeWork lift.
Oh my God.
I saw that.
Terrible.
Folks, we are stuck in the patriarchy. Okay, let's
I agree.
we can be inclusive. We love it."
Wait, is
but
Ryan back
yeah.
there laughing still?
Yeah, of course he is. You just can't hear him.
I know.
He's very demure.
Oh my God.
I know
He's
he
very
is.
demure,
I
very
always love
mindful.
Folks, I'm
Ryan
stuck in the
laughs.
WeWork.
I I'm glad you guys appreciated that. Or I'm glad you folks appreciated that.
The people who have Slack,
cracks
if
me
you
up.
don't have Slack, you probably don't have any clue what we're talking about.
But it's so funny. It's wonderful. It's just a visual representation. It's a visual representation of this sometimes, right? I know the person writing in was writing in good faith, but sometimes I'm reading my comments on TikTok and and I'm like, folks, we are stuck.
Y'all.
Oh, it's
I'm so glad
great.
I'm from the South, and I could say y'all. And if people ask me,
I say
are you
y'all
from the
too.
South?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, let's read off some poll results.
Yes, poll results.
We have some exciting news. We have our first voted in film review, and the winner of our film poll is Companion.
Yay. I love that.
Oh, wow. The studio audience is very excited today. They're very pumped about that.
Woo!
So, yeah, like I said, that's your recommendation. Watch that so you can participate in the discussion virtually next week. Okay, we had some polls on the Patreon and on our Spotify. And the question last week was about male flight. When men abandon a field after it becomes majority women, what do you think is really driving this behavior? The options were A, the idea that they may be outperformed by women is too dangerous to their ego. B, they're embarrassed to be seen women's work. C, their job no longer boosts their macho or projected masculine social image, particularly in the eyes of other men. Or D, once women dominate a field, it's seen as worthless and paid less, so men flee.
Oh, that was hard.
I know.
I
Which
think
one
it's a
would y'all have?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going with A, C, and
I chose
D.
the one.
A, C, and D. Okay.
Jeez.
I chose where like the men don't want to be seen doing women's work.
Oh, okay. So that was
hard.
actually kind of a niche one, Gwen, that you chose. The winner on both polls was A. The idea that they may be outperformed by women is too dangerous to their ego.
That's also why they had to have their own divisions in chess, because it wasn't because
right, it's nothing physical.
But
it wasn't anything.
It's crazy.
But I do think that all four of those options do apply to most men who leave.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
absolutely.
This man left for that reason. This man left for A. It's definitely a combination for sure.
Did you know that this Olympics is going to be the first time we have more women athletes competing than men?
Really?
Oh, just
so they're dropping out of
just you
the
wait.
sports
Yeah,
now?
it's gonna be the women's Olympics pretty soon here.
Right. And that's also why we had to have our own division for shooting too. Like we had like a shooting competition between I think originally allowed men and women to compete together, but then now they gender segregated that because women were actually doing a lot better than men.
See, that's giving ego. Is giving my ego was hurt and I did not feel like a big sexy man.
When I was in healthcare, I loved the idea of male nurses. Like I loved when we had male nurses. And
that's because like men's presence typically makes something more valuable in the eyes of society.
Yeah, probably.
Because it's like, if there's more men around, that means we are all probably going to get paid more because men usually demand like a higher salary.
I think for me, I just liked seeing men in that role. Like it was, of course, it was just liking to see that they went to college, they learned. Because, you can once you become a nurse, you can specialize. You have to learn all the basic stuff and then you can specialize in, I don't know, the heart or the urinary system or whatever, But I just saw it was great.
All right. So we are going to hop off and record our crumpet segment. So TVIPs, keep an eye out for that. It'll probably be an impromptu review of Honora. If I'm guessing correctly, we're going to make Sovereign listen to why that movie was so upsetting.
So ass.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And we will see y'all next week. Please remember to subscribe, like, follow, get in the Patreon. We're 500 members strong. So get in there. It's a good time right now. Yeah. All right. We'll see y'all next week.
Bye.
Bye.